Truth About Apostates, the Scientology story. I wrote this book just based on the information that I have on the apostates and what they're getting away with, and how we're going to stop them. And how to stop them is exposing their crimes. They are criminals, and they have done a lot of bad things, and they're cowards because they ran away without taking responsibility, and also took bribes. Took bribes to not say anything to federal officials. So it's pretty bad. But anyway, we're going to go over chapter 2. It's called Scientology is a Success. Okay. So the first chapter really, went over what the apostates are, who they are, and what they're doing. Right? There it is. Gives you a general idea and orientation of what we're going to go over in this book, really. And it'll just keep building on itself from there. This next chapter is chapter 2. It's called Scientology is a Success. It's quite the opposite of what the apostates want you to think, because it's what they're saying is not the truth. You'll find that out in this book, as well as all the other books that I've written. It says the Scientology religion is an ultimate success, and by golly, that's why apostates go so crazy about attacking the church. In fact, it is completely successful for a new religious movement for having achieved so much in such a short period of time. Every week, people check it out for themselves. The apostates' stories are questioned, and people decide for themselves who is telling it straight. I do want to say one thing on that is that there are many examples I can give you of moments where I was actually visiting my church, my nearest church, and basically I had people who walked by the front door, and they were actually questioning the apostates' stories and tall tales, right? And I just said, hey, find out for yourself, man. Come on in here, right? He came on in. He looked around, saw for himself, came up to me, said, hey, thanks so much for inviting me in here. Didn't know I could actually be here, which is another lie that the apostates say, is that it's closed, that it's a cult. It's not. That's it. It's called a cult. The definition of a cult is a closed or secretive group. If it was a closed or secretive group, if my church, my religion, the Church of Scientology, was a closed or secretive group, it wouldn't have beautiful buildings where you could walk on in and get the information for yourself. It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. So there's another fact that you probably didn't know and that you're not being told. I'm going to go on now. It says, I personally have been in Scientology for all my life. I have seen everything in it, basically. There are many things I haven't seen, right? But there are also a lot of things I have seen. I've also visited other religions, and my broader family is not all made up of Scientologists. My family is a mix of Greek Orthodox, Catholic, Baptist, atheist, and so forth. I'm not going to say I know everything about Scientology, but I do know quite a lot about the subject. Scientology and Dianetics were founded from decades of research by Lafayette Ronald Hubbard, also L. Ron Hubbard, or Ron to his many friends. He studied the mind and the human condition from a young age, and his research came to its first peak in 1950 with the publication sorry about that, of Dianetics. The title of the book means Dia, through, and nous, mind or soul. Together, this means through the mind. And the book provides many of the answers to how the mind works and how you can recover from upsetting or severely traumatic experiences. These discoveries open the doors to teaching how people can help themselves and overcome many of the anxieties, fears, and self-limitations we all share. Scientology was then founded after Dianetics. In 1952, the first church was established by Scientologists in Los Angeles, California. Okay, now let me say that again because I think I kind of screwed that one up. 1952, the Church of Scientology was founded, and the first church was opened in 1954. Excuse my French, right? Boom. Dianetics is what it culminated decades of research, and then by applying Dianetics principles came the principles of Scientology. The word Scientology means the study of life or the study of truth. Pretty ironic that people spread lies about the study of truth, but there's a lot to learn and apply for oneself. The discoveries made during this period cannot be just skimmed over and then you suddenly have a clue about it. So again, why don't you ask yourself this? Why would individuals spread lies about the study of truth? Okay, why? Well, they want to counter it. They want to make some money because they have no other income source because they apparently can't go get a job. Apparently, they don't know how to use Indeed.com or any other websites. Even going to a temp employment area and finding a job there. Many legitimate jobs, many. Throughout his life, Ron circumnavigated the globe to deliver lectures, write books, and meet people in person while establishing churches of Scientology worldwide. He was in the management of the religion for a good 13 years, serving as the international executive director. But his efforts led to forming major organizations on different continents that grew and turned into what it is today, a total worldwide network. The backbone of the religion is really the technology in the form of writings and lectures by L. Ron Hubbard. These materials contain the truth discovered by the research and are referred to by the religious term of scriptures. The churches of Scientology are able to expand and operate as intended by following the scriptures and with the effective and fantastic team that is Scientology management, led by Mr. David Miscavige. And in the book, I tell more about David Miscavige further in the book, right? Scientology is not your everyday religious belief and practice where you are preached to and told to do things. Here you are offered applicable information that you can use in all aspects of life. And all you are expected to do is use Scientology principles to do better in life and help others experience the same benefits. That is really all that is expected of you. You could do all of this and be a really successful Scientologist, and that would be what you would be known for. Okay, so you don't really need to pay, any money to really become a Scientologist, unlike the apostates say. Again, that's a lie. Okay, the truth is, you can pick up a book and apply a principle from Scientology, and you can call yourself a Scientologist. That would be totally all right. Scientology has thousands of churches and millions of members. The total count is everywhere at once. What do I mean by that? It's a movement. It's very hard to keep count of a movement. Okay, the church doesn't require one to write down their name, phone number, whatever, and wherever when they're applying a principle of the religion. So it's just everywhere. And their principles are so easy that a lot of people just apply them, just by hearing about them, which is pretty interesting. It is a religious movement, and Scientology does not require that one fill out a census or give information to use their principles or pay any membership fees. Any donations made to the church are completely voluntary and are for charitable purposes, or for a service or course you may want to take to help your life. If you look around today, you'll find people from Fortune 500 corporations, small businesses, families, relationships, other functions of life, and other echelons of success using common sense Scientology principles. Why? Because these principles are the most effective tools you can find out there today. Again, the apostates like to claim that Scientology doesn't work. Okay? Just because they didn't use them doesn't mean they don't work. Okay? They only work for the sane people. Okay? The apostates aren't. A small sign of success is the prominent members in Scientology. Why? So it's a small sign of success. Scientology does not rely on how many celebrities there are in the church. It doesn't. Unlike what the apostates say. Again, it's a lie. Well, Scientology didn't pick them, and they didn't try to get celebrities into Scientology. Scientologists around them showed them how it worked and how it helped them, and that ignited the flame of success. No dissemination or recruitment necessary, unlike what the apostates did. Successful people can see the truth and can think for themselves. If something makes their lives better and happier, they are not bashful about supporting it and being part of the winning group. Some apostates claim the celebrities run the church. The prominent members of Scientology are not part of the Scientology management or any echelon in the religion, and they are not treated any differently, unlike what the apostates state. Again, they're lying. Everyone is considered a parishioner. They do not have any control or influence simply because of their status. Mr. Hubbard specifically wrote the scriptures to make sure the church was only run in a successful fashion by the correct people hired to manage Scientology's expansion. The application of the scriptures is all the same, and they are used the same regardless of who it is and what the person does. So again, whatever the apostates are stating, this is the truth right here. It doesn't match up. Thanks so much for listening into this video. Go on to the next one and read about chapter 3.